Me, 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 me. You know, I lost my. I had my quarterback mic. It was strictly for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But since my daughter uses that to karaoke with, I can't figure out what she did with it. Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. I just read a comment. Hey, you guys clean yourselves up. This is why I like Saturdays. Thank you, Mom. We will clean ourselves up. I am cleaned up. That's why I like Saturdays. It's like we got feedback from people, positive feedback from people that said they like how we are not B-O-T, like a bot, bought and paid for. We are authentic. We are real. We're not, commercial, and that's why they like us. It's definitely a different perspective. So today's theme is Denver Broncos. We went from all in to just good enough. Now, you sent me a propaganda video with Russell Wilson put together by the Denver Broncos. And Russell Wilson doesn't seem to me to be a just good enough kind of guy. He's made it very apparent that player personnel is important to him. And do you have someplace to go? Okay. You just.
I'm getting my script from you, so that's fine.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Right. I'm gonna have to put my hand right up your ass, and you're just gonna be my puppet. Okay. Just do what I say. Right. Just do what I say.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's how it works. Well, no, kind of like Dove Valley with these other people, right up their ass, and
especially Elway, who doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, you showed me a film, and Russell Wilson goes into his office. He seems to be pretty well entrenched in Dove Valley for a guy that is on Neptune. I'm afar. I'm just consulting from afar. More BS coming from Dove Valley. But yeah, so today's theme is we went from all in to just good enough. And quite frankly, neither one of us think that that's going to keep Russell Wilson here after 2 years. We see a quarterback carousel all across the NFL right now, and the Broncos miraculously landed probably the best one out of them all, including Aaron Rodgers. So if things don't go the way you toxic fans, not the good fans, but the toxic fans who, can't even leave Drew Lock alone when he's on Seattle Seahawks, for instance. When you toxic fans things don't go your way and you act like little crybabies and start saying, I never wanted Russell Wilson, I wanted Aaron Rodgers. I think I would take I would take Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers. Our problem is if we were just strictly Russell Wilson fans, this is not the team we would have wanted him to go to. So the way I see it, I see the Denver Broncos really have one season to really get it right. If this thing goes south in one season, they got the next season after that. But I don't care who Russell, excuse me, I don't care who Russell Wilson signed with. If I was Russell Wilson, I wouldn't sign an extension, especially on a team that doesn't even have an owner, until I talk to that owner. And if Russell Wilson goes, you do not blame the owners. Do not blame the new owner. Do not blame the new owner. But I would at least gauge what you got now, what the new owner's expecting. And I don't see Russell Wilson as a guy that wants to get a bunch of people fired. I don't think that's his goal. But he's not. I don't think he's going to put up with Elway nonsense. Elway, as usual. And we want to talk about what we've seen with the free agency so far going into the draft. We're not happy with it except for one signing. They blew everything else, in our opinion. And I also here's the thing, Colby. You need to explain to these fans what you see outside the Denver Broncos, why we say these aren't great signings, what we're seeing the better teams, the up-and-coming teams, the more established playoff teams, what they're doing in contrast to the Denver Broncos. And that's where we're coming from, because we're looking at moves across the board. I also, you said you watched what Seattle did with the fact that now they don't have that salary cap issue. So I just want to open up with that, but what is it you'd like to say starting out?
Well, I just want to say that I want to get into free agency later. I'm not going to talk about my grade. I'm going to talk about it later when we get to that point. But I want to go off of the propaganda film because I think me and you are pioneers in this whole situation. I think me and you are the most authentic podcast out there in terms of realistic Bronco channels, not this Kool-Aid drinking, mile high bubble, STR. Oh, we're just a quarterback away. Yep, hype. And you guys watch that propaganda film
by the Denver Broncos. By the
Denver Broncos. I don't want to hear from anyone that John Elway doesn't exist, because you were the very people, Dove Valley and the toxic fans, that said, and I quote, that his contract ran up and he's not there anymore. As a guy that, go watch the propaganda film, as a guy who doesn't work there anymore, I mean, you go into his office, he looks like he's living there. I don't want to hear from anyone, especially the toxic fans, that I have to hear, oh, we need to straighten up, or we need to tighten up, or we need to get better, this whole bullshit. Okay? I don't want to hear from anyone that John Elway doesn't exist, because there have been many moves this offseason that correlate to what me and you've been saying for the past 2 years together, going on 6 years, that have correlated to the moves that John Elway makes on a consistent basis. Okay? We'll get to that later. But I just want to open off and say we're pioneers in this whole thing. I don't want to hear from anyone that John Elway doesn't exist. You guys are bullshit artists. I don't want to hear from you, Dove Valley. John Elway, I don't know why you're still in that organization, because you can't get a hold of yourself. And you talked to a person specifically that said that when he was around John Elway, when he was in other business ventures, that he was a toxic person to be around because he was so ego-driven. I don't want to hear from anyone that John Elway doesn't exist. He does exist. Watch the propaganda film. He's not flying in a jet from Hawaii. He's in an office living there. Looks like he's living there. I don't want to hear from anyone.
What did Russell Wilson say when he walked in the door to John Elway?
What's up, man? What's up, boss man?
What's up, boss? You said, what's up, boss?
Yeah, well, I'm just lightening it. What's up, boss? How's it going?
Yeah, what's up, boss? Well, here's the problem. We love John Elway, the football player. He got his trophy. And I would suggest to New England fans, if something ever happened to Creepy Kraft, don't let Tom Brady run your team. Whatever you do, do not do that. Mahomes, if something happens to the Hunts, don't make Mahomes a GM / pseudo owner. Please don't do that. Mm-hmm. Learn from this guy, and he makes Al Davis look good. I mean, it's horrible. So I'm sorry, we just cannot condone John Elway's crappy running of the team. It just he got Russell Wilson. He got Russell Wilson. Now he got Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah. Now this is worse than the '90s Raiders and early 2000s, mid 2000 Brown fans.
Well, I'm going to put out the disclaimer that the Denver Broncos lucked out in getting Wilson. One, obviously they don't know how to develop anybody, so they're in a market off the bat. Two, they had draft capital that the other teams Wilson wanted to go to didn't have. Three, what's the third? Is just with the draft capital, who else really was there to all this the King's ransom to? Go ahead.
No, no, no. The difference between the Broncos and the other teams, the Broncos and the Dove Valley and the organization were more desperate than the other teams. That's what ultimately happened. They were more
Yeah,
desperate.
because the Giants passed, but the Giants still could be in the running for Russell Wilson 2 years from now. The Giants are using their draft capital to build the team up. If Jones doesn't work out there, they can still go for Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson becomes a free agent, then they don't have to worry about draft capital. They don't have to worry about giving the Broncos anything if Russell Wilson doesn't sign an extension and becomes a free agent. Which I don't, like I said, I don't care what team you're on. If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm not signing. Especially this, they don't even have an owner. He'd be an idiot. I mean, I'd like to see him sign on, but I just find it very unlikely until he has all his options. Like I said, I just think that this Bronco experiment, they got to get it right. If they don't get this right, he ain't going to stay. He's not going to stay here. It's just not going to happen.
They're already fucking it up.
I know.
I'm surprised by it. Oh, Dove Valley thinks they're a quarterback away. No, you're not. You're not the 2012 Broncos before
Oh,
Manning.
no.
Anybody.
No.
I don't want to hear that from anyone. These are the John Elway Broncos, not the Pat Bowlen Broncos.
Yes. Cecil Lammy,
Oh, God.
Russell Wilson, dude, is a Pat Bowlen Bronco.
Not Justin.
Justin Simmons, Draymond Jones. These are not Denver. These aren't Pat Bowlen Denver Broncos. Not even.
Those are John Elway Broncos.
Oh, okay. They are all John Elway. Josie Jewell, John Elway all the way.
Garrett Bowles, John Elway all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bronco Country, you've got 2 years to get this right. Actually, 1 year. You're the offensive line. I'm breaking down Russell Wilson film, and I hate it. You can go watch my first one, but I'm watching their offensive line, and it is a lot more consistent than the Denver Broncos offensive line. So, but I mean, look out, Russell Wilson. You thought their offensive line was bad? Woo! And we broke down our offensive line all season long. Oh, and again, what happened to going all in? Let's talk about the draft as far as this going all in bullshit. You put out a video, and because you didn't worship Gregory, put out a video on Gregory because you didn't worship Gregory. We're going to put we're going to put more video out on Gregory too. And because you didn't worship it, oh my God! I mean, how dare you? You didn't fall into the propaganda. We could have done a lot better than getting Gregory for a whole lot less. Explain yourself as a Nebraska fan, how you're actually a Gregory fan, believe it or not, and where this 4-3 guy somehow fits in a team full of 3-4 player personnel.
So, actually, in that video, I showed the strengths of Randy Gregory, not the weaknesses of Randy Gregory. And I also stated that there's concerns I have about Randy Gregory. So I wasn't biased towards Randy Gregory. Let's just get that out of the way. I wasn't.
Hold on a second. Remember, they use that against you. Well, you're showing so how you see how great he is. So you don't know what you're talking about. Even in your own video, he's great. But why did he look great in that video?
Because he had better player personnel around him, and he was in a 4-3 defense, not a 3-4 defense. Okay, so let's talk about the all-in perspective, because I think that's something that we're just good enough, bullshit. But strictly with the all-in, okay. I understand that Randy Gregory is a 2-year, $28 million deal, 5 years, $70 million in total if he keeps his shit together. And I honestly, I'm a Nebraska fan, okay? As people well know, as you well know, I'm a Nebraska Cornhusker fan, okay? Bo Pelini was the head coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and Randy Gregory was an absolute stud in college. I thought he would be an end of first-round type of talent, but his legal troubles caught up to him eventually. What the Dallas Cowboys did and what they envisioned was, okay, we're going to get Randy Gregory in the 4-3, cover 3, cover 6 defense. And that's what Bo Pelini ran in college with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And I strictly remember his best game coming against the Miami Hurricanes. Nebraska and the Miami Hurricanes have a lot of history together. And I hate the Miami Hurricanes. But anyway, what what the difference was in that game when Randy Gregory at Nebraska was they were running that 4-3 defense, attack, blitzing defense. Okay. Now you do a couple of years down the road, he's having his legal issues, and then he has this breakout year in 2022.
No, not 2020. It hasn't. 2022 hasn't happened yet.
Okay, sorry, 2021. My apologies. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys have to understand, he wasn't even the number one pass rusher in Dallas. Okay, you had Micah Parsons, Dexter Lawrence. I think it was DeMarco or Dexter Lawrence on the edge. I understand he was hurt. They had two defensive tackles that were applying that interior. It was in the film review. They were applying that interior pass rush, and the quarterback was stepping up in the pocket, and Randy Gregory's right there. I understand the hype around Randy Gregory. I like Randy Gregory as a player, but he is not a 3. Okay, I'm gonna say this slow. He is not a 3-4 stand-up outside linebacker at all. He is strictly a 4-3, hand in the dirt, go after the quarterback, doesn't have any tool. The only tool that he has to his tool chest is that bend off the edge. Okay? He hasn't developed any hand placement moves, Swiss moves, hasn't applied any. He is a raw player. He's still a raw player, ladies and gentlemen. He sucks against the run. I mean, that was apparent. He again, if we were running a 4-3 defense,
sorry,
I would be a little bit more okay. He fits our system, but again, you don't have that interior pass rush up the middle to help out a Randy Gregory, to help out a Bradley Chubb. Okay, DJ Jones can only do so much, which I think was an excellent signing, and then they took 4 steps back after that. But again, you're not running a 4-3 defense. You're running a 3-4, I think. I don't know what you're running because you had Don Capers like the Pat Shurmur on defense. So I don't know what you're running. You're going to run a 4-3. You're going to run a 3-4. You brought in a 4-3 defensive end and a 5-tech with his hands in his dirt, which he does a lot best when he's not standing up as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense.
Okay, so I want to say this. I tried to explain that this mishmashing, and some people were saying, well, we'll run a 4-3 and 3-4 respectively. And I just want to say that you did disappear, by the way. I just want to say that back in the 90s, Don Capers tried this mishmash. And it was learned that you can't do that. It doesn't work because players, their techniques, you have to either be one or the other. Because you don't have robots, you have human beings out there with different tendencies, different techniques, and that's why, certain players are good on a 4-3, certain other players are good on a 3-4. Yes, you got some guys that can go back and forth, plus there's concepts, understanding defensive concepts, the mental aspect of this game, but most people can't do that. It's not a majority thing, so that's why that was a failed experiment on Capers' part. And it just seems like let me ask this. If I could kick out Capers, get him kicked out, kick John Elway out of there, and actually start doing this right, let's hit the rewind button on this. Number one, you mentioned the push up the middle. What are all the up and coming teams, all the playoff teams, the mainstay playoff team, people that are consistently a playoff contender, not a pretender. I'm not talking about the 7-5 team or whatever it was that ended up one year and then was happy to be there left. Teams that are consistent playoff. What do they do defensively? What's the one thing, whether the 3-4, 4-3, what do they all have in common? The up and comers, the ones that have their shit together. What are they concerned about? What do they covet? What have you seen in this free agency, for instance?
And this is why no one likes me. This is why no one thinks I'm a Bronco fan. This is why I get banned from Mile High Bubble permanently, because
they did you a favor. I think they did you. I don't even want to listen to that shit.
Well, I think I also did Nick Ferguson and Cecil Lamey when I called him, because they consistently talked about it. Because I mean, you got
Nick Ferguson talking about it.
Yeah. This is why no one likes me, and this is why everybody thinks I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I wouldn't say everybody. I just would say the toxic
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Okay, so this is why I have a different line of thinking than most fans, because I actually look at in-depth analysis on film that applies to what the good teams do in the National Football League. And that is why did you have to calm me down the first 24 hours of free agency? Let's do 24 to 48 hours of free agency. Because I saw the good teams again and again and again and again get players on that defensive line that apply that pressure up the middle. Get coverage linebackers, okay? That not these retread, just good enough Josie Jules. You know,
didn't we just pick up a linebacker that
the Eagles sucks? Oh, well, he had 112 tackles. Okay, again, you guys bring up stats. Why did he have 112 tackles? Because they're going right at the dude. They're not going away from the dude. They're going right at the dude because he sucks.
You can't explain this to these people. They just, stats. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, these next gen stats. Pro Football Focus says that he was the 52. I mean, again, do I see any other platform out there providing you guys film on a consistent basis like we do? Absolutely not. They say they have film, but they don't, okay? Again, this is why the toxic fans think I'm a nut job and Chicken Little and all this crap, because I don't go by the hype, the Kool-Aid. I used to, but then I actually got out of that bullshit spin and I went and did my own analysis and film review. Okay. I've been neck deep in film review this past week. Okay. I've been providing you film. I've been trying to tell the toxic fans and Dove Valley itself, you're not a quarterback away, because the good teams in the National Football League are doing the opposite on what you're doing, John Elway. They're doing the opposite. You see the Chargers, we're not even the second best team in our division. We're not even that. Okay, we're the fourth best team in the division. I see the Raiders making moves, okay, outside the receiver move, but they're making moves off basis. Even the Seattle Seahawks and the Chargers are doing better moves than the Denver Broncos. I mean, the Chargers, don't tell me. I sent you the a former Charger on TikTok or whatever it is, and he said that, like, he was shocked that Russell Wilson came here. And on top of that, he doesn't even think the Broncos are the second best team in the division. You'll get the hype.
Well, just let me just make a disclaimer here. Russell Wilson himself didn't know he was going to be here. In his press conference, he said in relation to Seattle, when he was communicating, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you absolutely sure? This is what you wanted." He made it clear this is what they wanted to do. Yeah. That's what they wanted to do. Are you absolutely sure? This was made very abundantly clear. And again, if you choose not to look at it, that's what you're doing. You're choosing not, because Russell Wilson said it at his press conference. So let's hit the rewind button. And we got DJ Jones, right? Where do we go from DJ Jones if we just get Capers and Elway the fuck out of here? None of this 90s bullshit, just good enough crap. Where do we go? What? Because there were players out there to be had for a lot less money. So our point. So go ahead and who would have you gotten? I just want to say one thing. For all the crap you get, your players that you pick, they all do good where they go. They're also coveted by teams. They end up going quick. Now I don't know what the budget is with the Broncos post Wilson, but they really screwed themselves with that Gregory financially. But that was another issue all in itself. So we don't have Gregory. We still have some money left. What is the solution?
Well, I think the solution is, if you bring in DJ Jones, okay, let's do, so if we're going to talk about this, it has to be
3-4.
Yeah, 3-4, and it has to be after the DJ Jones signing, because you had players. Okay, so if I'm just sitting back, okay, I got a good solid player to DJ Jones. This is what I would have done. Number one, okay, Dove Valley and the fans, ask me this, please. The toxic fans, not the good fans. Your depth sucks. Okay, you still got to round out your depth on this team. So what I would have done, I would have went after Eddie Goldman. Okay, here's a guy I've been wanting for weeks. He's still out there. please, George Payton and the even in Bill Cowher, you're still on the Broncos. Please go get Eddie Goldman and get rid of Mike Purcell. I don't want to hear this. Oh, we're going to start DJ Jones and Mike Purcell. I would have went after DJ Jones, Mike Purcell. Put DJ Jones in the 3-tech defense alignment. He could be the right end for the Denver Broncos. Can apply the push in the middle. Then in certain play packages, Eddie Goldman can be your nose tackle. Eddie Goldman is a very underrated player. Then I would have went after Miles Jack, who is a great coverage linebacker who went to the Steelers. They coveted him, gave him a 2-year deal.
He didn't have as many tackles.
Well, did you look at his coverage? Did you look at his the effect that he made in the coverage? Jayon Brown is still out there, okay? And then I would have went after a slot corner, like bring back Bryce Callahan or bring in Anthony Everett, the guy I sent you film on for the Ravens, who could play outside and inside. I think he's better inside than outside, but strictly inside, he's a better player. I would have built depth on this team. I would have started from the inside out. That's what Pat Bowlen used to do. Eddie Goldman would be a Bronco if Pat Bowlen was still on the owner. He would have went after Eddie Goldman. So in the 3-4 defense, I wouldn't have paid all that money for Randy Gregory. Okay, I would have went out. I would have brought back. I would bring back Malik Reed and Bradley Chubb. There's your edge rush, Stephen Weatherly. I'll give you a 2-year contract. You can be a rotational player. You can be the Shaq Barrett in Super Bowl 50. Jonathan Cooper, you can be behind Bradley Chubb. We're going to develop you. Okay, Baron Browning. This is what I would have done with Baron Browning. I would have brought in Miles Jack and start Baron Browning. Bring in Kenny Young to maybe be to play in certain packages. You bring in Alex Singleton here, who just watch. I'm going to send you a film on this guy. This guy is the Eagles cut him for a reason because he sucks. Okay,
that's what I want to just really quick. Just want to say something real quick. There are teams out there that just good enough isn't good enough, and they cut players. They cut the Simmons. They cut the Draymond Jones. They cut these people, and Josie Jewell. They'll cut that receiver Jerry Jeudy. They'll cut these. They won't put up with this crap, and they're either in the playoffs all the time or they're on their way up. They're up and coming. Broncos are big into has-beens, into retreads, into just good enough. And we don't understand it. But here's something I want to say about Josie Jewell. I posted tons of video on Josie Jewell. And this guy is always trailing 3-4 yards behind somebody he's trying to cover. And he's making tackles way, way, way downfield. Yeah. He made some progress that we liked last year. But in today's NFL, they're running at him and he's chasing down running back. I mean, yeah, he's making a lot of tackles, but they're not like 1 yard and 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. They're all downfield.
And here's the deal. Number one, I would trade Justin Simmons in a heartbeat, but we can't because you're tied to his ass. The dead cap you would have knew her. 4 years, 6 years. If I had to wipe the slate clean, Marcus Williams would be on this roster right now.
Who got Marcus Williams?
The Ravens. And who else did they get? They got Michael Pierce from the Vikings too, who's a defensive tackle, right? So they went after the defensive tackle. Marcus Williams, come in here. You're a better player than Justin Simmons. Who's going to be your strong safety? Chad Stearns? Really? Chad Stearns needs another year to develop. So who are you going to bring in? Marcus Williams?
Well, who's developing him?
Oh, Justin Simmons, apparently to these people. Okay, really? You want to take development under that man, Justin Simmons, who this guy has shown film all year of him getting beat over the top consistently.
Or not even helping. Running after a running back.
Or he's hiding. Yeah, you see how pissed off I am? That face right there shows how pissed off. I give this free agency a D. You know why? It's saved from an F? Because of that DJ Jones signing. Randy Gregory makes no sense. Josh Johnson is a total John Elway retread quarterback. Alex Singleton. I mean, he has no way. Okay, here's the difference. Alex Singleton is fast, but he is not instinctual on sideline to sideline ability, and his coverage skills absolutely. He's a fast linebacker, but that can only take you so far in the National Football League. He gets eat up by blockers. He doesn't know how to shut off blockers. His sideline to sideline ability, he overshoots everything from what I see. And then on top of that, what's his face? And then his coverage ability is not even instinctual to the point where he will get beat over the top like Josie Jewell. And Josie Jewell, you bring up the point, yeah, we were happy by this progress. Who was the defensive coordinator that helped him through that process? Vic Fangio, who you guys got rid of because, and you know, we put blame on Fangio for coming here too. I agree with you. But who helped Josie Jewell in certain play packages to help him look like he is? Now they have Don Capers behind Ezero, who Ezero doesn't, he is a total yes man. Ezero, the defense coordinator, I don't think he's going to be really that important. And Cecil Lamb is going to, he's the next up and coming. Shut up, Cecil. I don't want to hear it. But anyway, Justin Simmons, I mean, so you're going to put Patrick Surtain back in the slot if you're going to run a lot of nickel and dime personnel? If you do that, you guys are totally stupid, okay? This whole free agency has been exactly what we predicted. I give this free agency a complete D, because you guys, you reverted back to what we're usually at. Little D.
Give it a little D.
So, all the up-and-coming teams, were they obsessing over the edges?
No, those first few hours of free agency, they went after the penetration up the middle, the defensive line, which I've been fucking wanting for years. That's why I can't talk about it because I get so pissed off. And you had to calm me down.
Okay. Why? Now, let me ask you this. Had the Broncos, and they could have done it with the budget they had, upgraded that push up the middle, what would have that done for Chubb and Malik Reed? What do the other teams, all the good teams, what do they understand about the edges?
Just look what the Chargers did.
How is that Charger defensive front going to match up against the likes of Cushenberry, Glasgow? Good luck with that.
Again, I'm going to answer your question. Do I really have to answer that question? Do I really have to?
For the toxic fans, yeah.
Okay, for the toxic fans in Dove Valley, because that's where all the mouthpiece comes from, is Dove Valley. You know, you want to talk about hand up people's asses and talking like a puppet, just go to Dove Valley itself. We're going to get eaten alive. We're going to get eaten alive in our own division, okay? With the Chiefs, even the Raiders, even the Chargers. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But I want to. I'm going to make this disclaimer right now. I was going to show Russell Wilson versus New Orleans, but it turned out he got injured by that time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show my next Russell Wilson video. I'm going to talk about that at some point. We don't have to do it right now, but it's going to be against the Rams because he played that game. Very interesting stuff already coming out of that.
I can probably think what you're gonna. Oh,
well. Just really, I'll give you a little teaser here. One thing that I was disturbed was play design. They had a play design that Seattle ran. I didn't like. It was almost like an option, college option.
Shermer-esque.
Yeah, it was very Shermer-esque, and I did not like it. You know, when you run a boot, at least you have the entire field. You've got the entire field to throw to. But this was a hike of the ball, an immediate face this way and start running.
Totally Shermer.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, if I was Wilson, I would not like that. It wasn't even like an option to the type of a thing designed to the running back or anything like that, or even for him to run. It was just a throwaway pass, but the design, you don't, in the NFL, you don't want to limit your quarterbacks, cut them off, cut a whole side of the field off. Go ahead.
And also, what did the good teams in the national? This goes to your point. What did the good teams like the Bengals do in this free agency? They upgraded their offensive line, right? Because it was just good enough to go to the Super Bowl, and then they upgraded. Who did we get in free agency? Tom Compton and Calvin Anderson. Those are going to be your right tackles, ladies and gentlemen, if you draft somebody. But it's not. Again, you had premium fucking picks to get a Charles Cross in this class. You have premium picks to get. Could you imagine Jordan Davis and DJ Jones together? Oh my God. Like, that just makes me tickle pink.
You can imagine it, but the guy out in Dove Valley who doesn't have an office but somehow does have an office, he can't imagine that. He can't imagine that. I mean, you talk about, this guy's like obsessed with washed up players, man. It's just
And what is, again, everybody, the big loss for the Cowboys is losing Randy Gregory. They signed Dante Fowler Jr., who played the same system when he had his breakout year in Atlanta, coming from Atlanta Falcons, going over to the Dallas Cowboys. He's running the same exact scheme. He's the same exact player as Randy Gregory, and he's a better 4-3 defensive end. And on top of that, they got him for a lot cheaper.
Yeah. This makes me, I can't wait to see how this draft is going to go. I'm going to let you know that I'm losing faith already in this coaching staff, to be honest with you.
I told you, 2 years. I told everybody thought I was nuts. Everybody thought I was crazy when that press conference dropped. Oh my God, he's different. He's different. No, it's going to be the same exact thing. It's going to be the same exact thing on like Fangio and Vance Joseph. It's going to be the same exact thing.
Well, even probably worse. And we're not out to get them fired, by the way.
No.
But we're just forecasting here. We're just forecasting. I want to. Yes. Go ahead. God damn it.
Well, sorry. I'll talk so you can remember what you were going to say. But anyway, you got rid of Mike Munchak. This is great. You got rid of Mike Munchak. Butch Berry, baby. Butch Berry, who, again, is a yes man. And when he had full control in Tampa, they got rid of him. Yeah, he drafted Alan Marpet. He had good eye for talent, but he ain't going to have the say. If Mike Munchak didn't get the say on the players he wanted, what do you think? What makes you think Butch Berry's going to get the same thing? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This coaching staff is already fucked. It's already fucked, okay? I mean, again, I give this free agency just pissed me off because this free agency had two things that we coveted. Defensive line, even this draft. Yeah, defensive line and offensive line talent. And what did Elway fucking do? Well, we're gonna get rid of all the cap space in the world. We're gonna get rid of all these picks for a quarterback who really didn't want to be here.
Yeah. Oh, I saw the propaganda film. He was dying to get here. Okay.
I mean, again, Russell Wilson is that no bullshit type of player. Okay, he said it. He's gonna expect people to show up and do their job. He is a Pat Bullen fucking Bronco.
Okay. What I want to talk about that Russell Wilson. I want to talk about the propaganda video. They show Russell Wilson in the quarterback room, and he said, well, this is where all the magic goes. I guarantee you, if they did film study, obviously, if they showed video, well, even better yet, if you said to Bronco fans, win a trip to the quarterback room, you can sit and watch all this go on. And then once they get there, you know what they would be like? Oh, God, get me out of here.
I mean,
they don't want to think. They don't want to process. All they want are highlights and hype.
Yeah, they can't even process our film. I mean, what makes you think they're going to process like the coach all 22 film in that room? They ain't going to be able to process it.
Well, they showed film on the Bronco channel. Nobody wanted to watch it either. I mean, there's nobody wants to process. Well, I mean, and I understand it. Look, I understand it. I played. I don't know. I know what it's like to be in an environment where you're speaking the language and talking the stuff and that we talk, and then to have a fan sit, it'd be like, oh, I mean, but
that was most of my draft videos.
Yeah, but you know what? You're not paid for. You need to clean your.
Paid for? I mean, look behind me. I'm in my fucking basement.
You need to clean yourselves up.
Yeah, I need to clean myself up. Yeah, do I look like I'm in a fucking basement? Do I look like I have my own studio, bought and paid for, Sports Illustrated behind me? I'm a Cowboys beat writer. I'm a Colts beat writer, Mile High Bubble.
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm bought and paid for? God damn. Like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm going off the rails. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I broke down Russell Wilson film and
quarterback.
Well, no, I know. It's important right now. It's important to see what the differences are besides just Wilson.
I'm giving you shit. I love it. I'm just using. And wait, hold on. In the press conference, did Russell Wilson mention Jerry Duty?
No.
And what went on Twitter bitched. Who wanted Tristan Wirfs? I understand he was drafted before us. You could have traded up a pick too. I mean, how again? The guy commented, "Well, we got Judy and Wirfs was picked." I'm like, "How's that working out?" No response because Tristan.
Well, last year, all our detractors said he's gonna elevate the offense. He's gonna be the difference maker.
Yeah. How did that turn out?
Yeah, how is that working out for you? And you know what? Russell Wilson is going to take Judy off to the side. And he's going to say, "Listen, little boy, this is my show. You either get on board and shut your fucking mouth, start working hard. I know something you may not really conceptualize. You better get your head out of your ass and start playing the game. Off camera, away from everybody else, and just give them a little talking to, like,
stop doing your fucking TikTok and Instagram videos. You're no Jerry Rice. You're no fucking Rod Smith.
He doesn't even understand what it takes to be a Rod Smith. He doesn't understand it. It doesn't.
All he does is bitch when he doesn't get his catches. Again, he wasn't even my number one receiver in the draft. It was CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. And look how those two people are turning out on their teams. They don't bitch. They don't complain. Oh, I dropped the football because Drew Lock threw too hard.
You're going to love this story. I would play, and I would, if I saw a player on the other team slacking off or something, I'd go to the bench and say, "You got to bench that fucking asshole. He's fucking you over." Because it just pissed me off so much when somebody didn't, do their fucking job. But yeah, they'd say, "You got to quit coaching them." I said, "Hey, man, I want to play the best. Whoever you are, I want the best player on the field. That's what I want. I want to play against the best." And that's something I really liked about Russell Wilson's attitude. He goes, "Fuck yeah, I want to be here. I mean, this is about wanting to be here. You got all these quarterbacks. Fuck yeah, I want to compete against them. Why wouldn't I? This is the place to be." That's the attitude I want. I don't want to lose this guy. I don't want the John Elway and Dove Valley to fuck this all up. And
they're already doing it.
I know, because that nobody's holding this organization accountable for all the quarter. I want to tell you something else. It's embarrassing listening to these platforms attacking Drew Lock. He isn't even on the team.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have it within yourself to say, "Sorry, didn't work out here. Good luck. Hope everything works out." Oh, no. You want to poison their well. And if I was a Seattle fan, I'd like, keep your garbage in your own yard. don't spew your filth and your garbage over here. I mean, it's so unprofessional, and we're like totally unprofessional, but we're not, because we tell it like it is. I mean, that's what a professional should do.
I mean,
Even though we're not always clean all the time.
Yeah, talk about unprofessional who cusses in every video that he speaks in. Like, look at me. I mean, come on. You really think I'm professional and really think I'm bought and paid for? Yeah, your script is right here on my watch. You really think I'm bought and paid for? Please give me a fucking break. Oh my God, I said the F word. That those platforms again.
I'd rather say the F word than lie to people and bullshit.
Yeah. Dude, again. Those platforms are lying to your face. Drew Lock snubbed the Broncos. Again,
yeah, that's embarrassing.
You don't have within yourself to be like what he just said, like what we've said. Hey, Drew Lock again, it didn't work out. I wish we had Drew Lock. I still wanted to see if it would work out, but unfortunately, Dove Valley. I'm happy for Drew Lock. Yeah, he's in an untoxic organization who gets it and are doing it right or getting ahead of the game, rebuilding. And here in Denver, we just got to do this to Drew Lock because he wasn't Patrick Mahomes right away.
Well, it's embarrassing that these people are embarrassing. They're an embarrassment. I mean, it's just it's just ridiculous. He's gone. I mean, why are you? Why couldn't they why couldn't they ever, for not just Drew Lock, all the quarterbacks that they buried, why couldn't they at least one time hold the organization accountable for all of that? And this is the thing.
Why did you hold Shermer accountable?
This is the thing. You're putting Wilson in this toxic environment now. I don't want to hear, if this doesn't work out, I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear Wilson sucks. I don't want to hear, I wanted Rodgers the whole time. I don't want to hear that bullshit coming from ball baby fans who crying, he's not what I want. You've got to start building this team around him. Get off your fucking ass. Stop this good enough bullshit. You're going to have to start getting rid of players you may not want to get rid of. You may need to get rid of a John Elway. Somebody you don't need to. You may need an owner to come in and clean house.
Please get rid of John Elway. Please. I'm tired of seeing his ass. I'm tired of seeing him.
Well, we were right again. We were right as usual. Kaiser is filing an appeal. We said that probably would happen here. We're the only ones that said it, and it happened. So I guess there we go again, being unprofessional.
Yeah. But I agree with you with your whole take. With the and also I don't want to hear from Dove Valley, Mark Schlereth, STR, and the fans, the toxic ones, saying that, well, Aaron Rodgers was our first choice. Russell Wilson was our second choice. I don't want to hear that. If he sucks, I don't want to hear that because I will call every single one of you people out. I think we're already going to bury Russell. Just things are aligning that. The stars are aligning that way where people are going to, he sucks. He wasn't even our first choice. He was playing B. Aaron Rodgers.
I know. You know it's coming. You can hear it coming, especially if they get him killed.
Oh, God. They're already getting killed this year. I believe Russell Wilson will get hurt sometime this year, just like Teddy Bridgewater did.
Just like Drew Lock, just like all of them. Just like every one of them got dinged up. Flacco, all of them.
Johnson is in his prime, like Joe Flacco. Talk about a retread quarterback. My God.
Well, I'm not worried about him. Russell Wilson he'll play all 17 games into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. Don't worry.
Behind that inconsistent offensive line. Okay. You said that about Teddy Bridgewater too. So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, who's your right tackle? Who's your center? Lloyd Cushenberry who gets pushed around? Oh, yeah, okay. Who's your tight end? Albert O? You got rid of Noah Fant. I mean, I'm happy for Noah Fant. I liked Noah Fant more than Albert O because he had more ability.
Schobert. Talk about Schobert for a minute.
You bring in Eric Tomlinson, who's 30-some years old. Again, that's another retread.
He can't get away from that. That's all they know. They don't know anything else. Why do you keep Schobert? Why over this guy? Why would you do that?
Mike Munchak player.
Okay, good point. He's a Mike Munchak, but schematically, why?
Because I guess, well, number one, Schobert is like 28 years old. Tomlinson's 30-some years old. I think Schobert is a better pass catcher / run blocker than Eric Tomlinson. Eric Tomlinson is just strictly a run blocker. Okay? If you're going to run a lot of play action, West Coast don't run this mishmash scheme on offense. What do you think you want, a 28-year-old Eric Schobert who has a little bit more ability to his game, or do you just want to strictly have a blocking tight end in Eric Tomlinson? I mean, my God, man. Like, again, this is why I give this free agency a D, because you had.
I would pick Schobert for the fact that I would pick Schobert for the fact that compared to Tomlinson, Schobert can shed a linebacker and get open. That's the big. And he can block. He can do both. That's why I think that getting rid of Schobert told me a lot of things too about this coaching staff I don't like. So I mean, offensive line should have been like paramount. You got Wilson, but and this is the thing. Wilson is the guy that was complaining about the offensive line, and what I'm seeing on film, he has no idea what's coming his way. Or if he does, if he's looked at the film, it's like, holy shit, not good, not good at all. So, yeah.
Okay. Outside of DJ Jones, did they address needs in free agency that you would, yep.
No, they're Elway as usual. Everything about this was Elway as usual.
I would even say the trade for Russell Wilson was Elway as usual. That was a total Elway trade.
Yeah. Well, then give Elway credit for Russell Wilson. Now he's got to keep him somehow.
Yeah, I'm putting everything on John Elway, because for me personally, George Payton, why'd you come here? Like, I'm going to hold you accountable too, George Payton. Stop. Why did you come here? Why? Because you wanted the money and 6 years of security? When that owner comes in, you're gone, buddy. You're gone. Well, all you people are gone in that organization.
I want to say something about that propaganda film, about the Valley propaganda. If you watch the press conference, you have George Payton saying that Russell Wilson was their primary target.
Nope.
Okay, hold on a second. I agree with you. No, because why would you go after all of Aaron Rodgers' people and coaches if it was strictly a Russell Wilson thing from the very start? Why did you try to get as much of Green Bay over here just to get Wilson? Doesn't make any sense. Your Dove Valley, your number one was always Aaron Rodgers. You screwed up because you had leaked out to you Dove Valley screwed up because you leaked out to Mark Schlereth. He opened his big fat mouth, completely lying. You pissed Aaron Rodgers off, which is fine with me. I'm glad he's not here personally, but it's just my personal take.
Me too.
And you got stuck with, or I shouldn't even say stuck. You got lucky that you were in position to get Russell Wilson. Lucky. But I don't see how you're going to keep Russell Wilson. I just don't see it. Receivers. You know what else? I'm going to tell you something else. When I was dissecting these Russell Wilson films, I'm watching their receivers. Their top receiver over there. This guy knows how to not only get open once but twice. I have not seen that from any of our receivers yet.
No, their player personnel is way better than ours. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I mean, you could sign, seal, and deliver that shit. I mean, honestly, the whole.
Metcalf. When I was watching Metcalf, he was doing things our receivers just don't do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, Cortland Sutton. Again, I want to give Cortland Sutton the benefit of that. I liked him coming out of SMU. I did, and you saw the development take place when he was in the proper system, and Emmanuel Sanders got on his ass. This is why I love Emmanuel Sanders, because he held him accountable and he developed Cortland Sutton.
What channel before Sanders went after that wide receiver? What channel was going after Cortland Sutton?
Us.
What channel was saying this guy's got to get his head out of his ass? This channel. Then the next thing that happened, Sanders. I'm not saying he watched the channel. Sanders, we were right on target. Sanders gave him an earful constantly about, dude, you can't do this lazy crap.
Yeah, and I would like to, but is he worth the money he got? Absolutely fucking not.
No. I would have, if yeah, okay, give me a second here. If you wanted to do anything, if you ended up getting Russell Wilson, if not sign those two guys, not do that. Maybe you bring Metcalf over too. Just maybe. I don't know. Just maybe in that.
Yeah, DK Metcalf would be my last resort. I'm sorry. I would build up this team first and then get DK. But again, a DK Metcalf is a rare player. He's a rare player. I mean, coming out of Ole Miss, he was a rare player. But again,
I'm just trying to make a point. I
agree with your logic. I said I would take DK Metcalf over any of these receivers in a heartbeat. I would do it. I completely agree with your analysis. I'm just saying from a team building standpoint, if you got Russell Wilson in this if you got Russell Wilson in the 2012 version of the Denver Broncos and you had these receivers on that 2012 team, I would do everything I can to upgrade that position, receiver. But again, this isn't the 2012 Broncos here. We're talking about the John Elway Broncos, this current day and age. Yeah, with the propaganda film, I'm going to go back because I thought you brought up a great point about that press conference thing that George Payton said out. Russell Wilson was our plan A. No, it wasn't. You guys are John Elway, you guys are so full of shit. Okay? We called you out, Mark Schlereth. You guys lied to your audience, and then you got on the Colin Cowherd show and tried to backtrack, and people held you accountable because you're so full of shit, because you're your buddy Elway. Again, this whole thing reeks of, again, you talked about that, oh, you like Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers. I completely agree. But it wasn't that they lucked out of Russell Wilson. They were desperate because they were out on Aaron Rodgers. They were desperate to get Russell Wilson. That's why the Seattle Seahawks took that deal, because that was an offer they couldn't refuse.
Well, take a look at San Francisco. San Francisco knows they got to get rid of Garoppolo. They know they can't hang on to that quarterback. So what they have to do is they have to invest in the future. So, Trey Lance was drafted. And then, if I was going to deal Garoppolo, it would be this year. But, I don't know if any team out there is smart enough to take Garoppolo or not.
And the San Francisco 49ers are a very smart organization. And who did Tom Compton play for before he came here? The San Francisco 49ers. And Adam Peters is basically /GM, player personnel. There's a reason why they didn't bring back Tom Compton, because he's over the hill and he sucks. He sucks.
Over the hill.
Yeah, he's over the hill. Another retread offensive lineman, the likes of Ron Leary, Graham Glasgow, Menelik Watson, and Donald Stevenson. That's what Tom Compton reminds me of. Okay, he is nothing more than a third string tackle.
Yeah, I get this impression that it's going to be a bombs away offense, low percentage passing. Low percentage passing.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you talk about the again, this offense is just, you don't have the players on the offensive line that can run that scheme to the best of its ability. If they're going to keep by their word and run this West Coast system, they don't have even the Andrew Beck signing. Like, you could have kept Andy Janovich, but again, you traded him because he was a Rich Scangarello, Garen Kubiak player. and he didn't want. Again, that's Elway's ego to the T. And I actually liked your story about the John Elway, the person that you talked to with the John Elway connection when he was with the other teams. I think that was a really good story, and I think a lot of people need to hear that story because it makes a lot of sense and that you put two and two together.
Well, essentially, the bottom line was a promise was made, a lie, and it was never kept, and basically forced out a door. He said it was one of the worst business experiences he ever had, or with an organization. It just was toxic, just toxic. That's all.
Yeah, he doesn't exist. No, he doesn't exist.
Well, that's the thing that's really troublesome about Dove Valley. All this propaganda on he's not here. If he was successful, there wouldn't be any he's not here or it's all him. He would just be a part of the environment. The fact is they try to excavate this guy out of the environment all the time. I just don't, once this team is actually owned, and I think the NFL is just really, and I'm not saying that this is outside of John Elway, but I think the NFL is really getting pissed off at the Denver Broncos for not getting this ownership thing taken care of. Legally now they can't because Kaiser, that judge screwed that whole right of refusal. And again, the funny thing is the judge who said there's nothing here to see said before they went on recess, it's very complicated. How could something that's so obvious on one side of her mouth be complicated in the other side of her mouth? This may go further up. This may take a while to resolve. Going through this appeal process.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This whole thing is.
Now you can bring Elway. This just totally benefits Elway because no owner to hold him accountable.
No.
So I mean, if I'm Russell Wilson, there is no way I'm going to file an extension if I don't even know who the owner is.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall when it comes to this whole subject, when it comes to John Elway, because people are just so enamored by what they thought he did, in which he had no part in Super Bowl 50. It was all Pat Bowlen and Peyton Manning. And
well, I'd say his part was minuscule. I wouldn't say he had no part. I wouldn't go that far, but his part was very minuscule compared to the narrative.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, this whole thing this year again reeks of Elway, which I knew was coming. I actually wanted to get defensive line players. I wanted the offensive line players. You know what? And at the end of the day, I would have never traded for Russell Wilson. That's just my thought on it. I would have never traded. I understand people's enthusiasm for Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson. Again, I do. But this team isn't in the prime position to win now.
No. What we're saying is this didn't benefit Russell Wilson at all.
Oh, hell no.
This didn't benefit Russell Wilson. And if this thing goes south, it's not to do what we've done to every quarter, or what these toxic fans, these ball baby fans, have done with every quarterback, is to bury Russell Wilson. It's to actually look in the mirror and say, we got to get our act together. We got to get the front of everybody's got to go. Number one, everybody's got to go. What's that?
Well, again, what are the Giants doing? What did they finally realize?
Nobody wants to hear that because the Giants had a bad record, so they don't want to hear that.
Well, again, they brought in the Buffalo Bills people, and they're now bringing in offensive linemen. They brought Tyrod Taylor, who's a better quarterback than Josh Johnson. They brought in players that actually fit a certain system. They're running a certain system, and they're building the team. I could see in 2 years he goes to New York. 2 years.
That's where he wanted to go, New York. That's what the press release that I linked to. That's what it said. So them and the Saints. I don't know what the Saints are going to do, but
I heard back Jameis Winston.
That would be good. We'll talk Jameis Winston. My friend, my big Saints really liked Jamie because he did a lot with little, but then he got that injury. He
I
thought,
thought oh,
yeah. So yeah, so yeah, that I wish the best for Jamie Winston. I I don't want to hear they turned down who did they turn down? Deshaun Watson,
thank
which was a
God.
smart. I think that was the smartest thing they could have done was turn him down.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Watson is a walking.
Or it didn't work, one of the two. But it
Yeah.
was a good thing it didn't. Their sake, they didn't get him.
Yeah, I completely agree. I want Russell Wilson to have success. He is not. He is again. I'm going to go back to this. He is your typical walking version of a Pat Bowlen Bronco. Not Justin Simmons, not Garrett Bowles, not Draymond Jones, not Josie Jewell, not Patrick Surtain.
All Elway, all the time.
Yep, your walking embodiment of a Pat Bowlen Bronco is what we saw at that press conference. Was I happy about Russell Wilson to see him? Oh yeah. I love Russell Wilson. I love his game. I love his maturity. I love his aura around him. I love that he holds people accountable. I love that. But again, I'm not that quarterback, rah type of guy. If you're going to bring in a Russell Wilson, I'm looking at the other components on the whole roster, the 53-man roster, the 81, the depth. Okay.
Hey, they're looking. They're looking.
Yeah, the highlight reels that Cody Rourke puts out. But anyway,
Josie Jewell.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, this linebacker core again. What did they say? They brought in Alex Singleton to start next to.
You don't need a linebacking. Wait, no. You don't need a Zaven Collins. Why would you need a Zaven Collins for? Yeah.
What about the reports? What about the reports that Bobby Wagner's coming here? You can already bury that. Who signed Bobby Wagner? No one so far because he sucks and he's over the hill.
I don't have a bubble.
Oh, Mile High Bubble. Oh,
I don't have a bubble. Yeah. So inside the bubble, it's a name bouncing around, repeating.
Sir, you need to act more professional. We're getting bought and paid. Yeah, sorry, that's unprofessional.
It's good tequila.
Yeah.
You guys need to clean yourselves up. Okay, Mom.
All right, we'll do next video. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, you know what? I mean, like we did these videos, just like both of us right after work. You're at work, and I just get in. It's late. It's midnight at the Oasis. I mean, Jesus Christ, people. We don't get paid for this. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that they don't want the bought and paid for. They don't want the same old just hype machine bullshit. So we'll start we'll end where we left off. We are pioneers in this regard that we're more about nuts and bolts and we really nothing about hype. We're just telling it like it is. We see we're seeing looking in the NFL. We see what works. It's more than just quarterback. A lot more.
It's more again, and the good teams you saw early in free agency making moves, they didn't obsess over quarterbacks day one. They didn't obsess over corners day one. They didn't obsess over edge players day one. They coveted the interior pass rush and coverage linebackers day one.
Yeah, you got Nick Ferguson talking about that as he should. I mean, I would just Nick, if you go and just kind of explore some of the film of like the Buffalo Bills, like the Rams, just some of these teams. Look at what the Chargers are doing.
Why do you think Miller went to Buffalo?
Who?
Von Miller. Why do you think he went to Buffalo? Not because he wanted to go. He went there because they have a guy in the middle named Ed Oliver, and they have a culture there that is. I think the Bills are primed and ready. I think they're going all in. They have the components. They have the players. I wouldn't be shocked. Oh, well, yep. Yep.
Dude, they went all in before they even got Josh Allen. Before they got Josh Allen, they were going all in.
Yep.
They're doing it right. Chargers are doing it right.
Ravens.
Probably the Ravens, of course, and Pittsburgh, of course, who everybody said wasn't going to do anything. Wait till we show them. Yeah, we showed them. So
Talk all the shit you want about Mitchell Trubisky, but he's your bridge for the next quarterback. I hope you realize that. And they didn't.
It's not about the quarterback. I know it's not about the quarterback. It's about bridging to that next quarterback, building that team correctly. Of course, everybody gets that except Valley.
That defense for Pittsburgh? Oh my God, Devin Bush and Miles Jack, and that defensive line. Oh God.
You could have had stuff like that too, but you chose not to do it.
I don't think we're going to the playoffs this year. I'm going to stamp it. We're not going to the playoffs. I with all these other teams. Well, you can. I'm telling you, we're not even the. What I believe. Okay, well, Russell Wilson's going to make a difference. One man cannot make a difference on a team. Okay, you have to have other components around him to help him. And I understand people. Oh, we're playoffs one and done. Again, if you're not 10-7 or better. If you're not, 17-game season, if you're not better than what I just said, you're not even going to sniff the playoffs. And I don't think the Broncos are even. I don't even think they're up there. There's a lot of teams in this offseason have gotten better, way better than Denver has. I think Denver's taken a step back, and these other teams have jumped them.
Yeah, I'm really worried if this team's going to get Wilson killed before the season's over. That's what is really what I'm worried about.
I can see it.
And that's not going to bode well on the extension talk, So, and like we both are big Russell Wilson fans, we just don't think the Broncos were really a good fit. I mean, I think in a perfect world for Russell Wilson, it would have been Tampa Bay, for instance. He wanted to go to Giants in New Orleans, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't sign until that 2 years, until I get all my no matter who I went to.
And from what I heard in the press conference and what I got off of him, I think he has our same line of thinking. I think he's going to give this organization 2 years, and I think
I guarantee you, he'll give this organization 110% without a doubt.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think he's sitting there being like, "Hey, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to see how these 2 years go." And I think they're already fucked up the first year by this free agency class. This free agent class sucks.
Well, the whole problem is that this organization is a disorganization, and they can't get around themselves. They just can't.
They're an organization in chaos and a bunch of misfits on offense and defense and special teams.
They can't get past themselves. That's the problem.
Shocker. Elway's still in that phone. Oh, he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Yeah, okay. He sure looked like he doesn't exist in the office of his. What's up, boss?
What's up, boss?
God.
I cringed when that happened. And it's just. I want to say one thing about Elway really quick, so just to kind of get the record straightened out. When that guy told me about Elway, I was just like saddened by it at that time. I was really sad because it's like I didn't want to hear it, but I kind of figured, And when Elway, the GM and all this waiting, he could be an owner for the Broncos and stuff. I always knew that, man, if this guy turns out to be bad, we'll never be able to get rid of him. If he turns out to be a bad GM, we'll never be able because of he's John Elway, right? So I just don't think it's good to give somebody the kind of power that he's like an owner. I mean, he's like quasi-owner. And Ellis is just you do what I say, Ellis. You do what I say, kind of thing. Oh, I'll do what you say. I love how Ellis gets up there and says, he's not meddling. Yeah. Okay. Right. He doesn't exist, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that was my disclaimer. Just that it's just sad. I wish it would have worked out. I wish it would have been this Bill Belichick mindset kind of, genius kind of thing. But he's just not. He's just not that. So I see this Russell Wilson as the last crescendo, the last hurrah, until this whole thing is broken down and this whole thing is rebuilt with a philosophy of doing it right, stick to itness, And just don't listen to all the toxicity. Let those people become whatever fan they want to be. And it would I would cut off sports talk radio. I would cut that off and let them be the actual critics they should be. I mean, it's like us. If I would love it if the new ownership put us behind the scenes as GM and have these guys constantly criticized. I'd take it. You should be constantly criticized. You should, constructively criticize. And I think that's what this show is about. It's about constructive criticism. It's not about hate.
I agree. I have a different mindset than most people do out there.
I guess I do too.
Well, you do too. We both do. I have a mindset that relies on film more than people realize. I have a mindset that doesn't really cater to the feel-good fan, to the feel-good agenda. I'm a guy that is neck deep in film, and even during times where I cuss at the fans, it's not intentional. Your line of thinking makes no sense to me, and you probably think the same thing with myself, but it's not to be hate. It's just to be like, guys, like, look at the bigger picture instead of one fucking thing. Like, you got to look at this thing in a deeper level. You have to open your eyes, and you got to look at, okay, how's the offensive line playing? How's the defensive line playing? How's this coaching staff? Are they sticking with the system? Are they mishmeshing system? Are they bringing in players that actually fit a system? Not a Randy Gregory who's a 4-3-5 tech and who's a blitzing linebacker who doesn't have any really moves. He sucks against the run. I mean, they're going to run right at this guy. I mean, it's going to be, again, and
to me, Gregory was like a one-trick pony. It's, I mean, if you just bring him in on what he's good at, blitzing, well, okay, you're giving it away. You're giving away what you're doing.
So you're bringing in a guy who's going to get $28 million guaranteed, and you gave him a 5-year, $70 million contract, 2 years. So you're going to, okay, so on blitzing downs or basically third and longs, you're going to bring him in, but on first and second down, you're going to bring him Malik Reed. So why'd you bring in Randy Gregory on that price then? Like, again, logic.
It makes no sense. That's why I'm more of a Belichick, Welsh 49ers, what they're doing, Seth, what they're doing in Buffalo. I'm more what they're doing in the Raven kind of thing. Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm not into this this way of thinking here. It's just.
Can we just get Adam Peters back, please?
Nothing's going to happen until that whole front office is cleared out.
I know.
Nobody like him will want to be here until that happens.
Oh, he doesn't want to come back because Elway's a dick.
Basically. All right. Well, you got anything else?
Nope. I'm just going to do film review and I'll send it to you and go from there, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I've got film to do too. At some point. Next week I'll be on flights and stuff like so I won't be able to. We won't be. Well, this will be a 2-week long thing.
Okay.
And I do like these Saturdays because, I am clean. I'm awake and I'm not like. So as long as there's no major breaking news that I have to get my mortal remains in front of the camera, I'll see you 2 Saturdays from now.
Sounds good to me.
I'll keep posting up film, and once I get back, I'll get back into filmmaking mode.
All right, so that looking at the end of April, then when I'll see you next, right?
No, you will see me. You will see me at the beginning of April.
Beginning of April.
Yeah, we're in March now. So I won't be here on the 26th.
You'll be here April 2nd or 3rd, probably.
Oh, 2nd. Yes, it'll be April 2nd. That's right. My daughter's got we got a rock climbing thing.
Cool.
Set up. So, yes, on the 2nd, but that's not till after we're done doing our thing.
All righty. Well, take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.